And a lot of content creators always think they need the most expensive camera, they need the best camera, the best equipment, the best light, they need a whole studio. But let me tell you that you can do this on a budget. I believe in saving where you can save and splurging where it's necessary. So sometimes it's okay to buy the generic brand and to opt in for a little bit of a cheaper version. And then there's other instances where you just know you have to spend the money in order to get the results. I always operate on a budget, and I know I can get you results on a budget. So I want to tell you the camera option that I think content creators can definitely utilize. I want to go over a microphone. I want to talk about lighting and other budget-friendly tips that you can utilize to create amazing YouTube videos, short form content such as reels and stories, YouTube shorts and whatnot. So let's dive right in and get started. And number one, before you start anything, you want to buy a camera. You want to start by researching a great camera that fits your needs. And when you search for a camera, you want to combine affordability and quality. And if you've done any type of research online, you might have come across the camera. And it's the Sony EVZ10. The Sony EVZ10 is a great camera, not only for beginners, but also for people who are really serious about filming videos or creating content. And what I like about this camera option is that it delivers really amazing video quality without breaking the bank. And I use this camera for my personal content. So I create all my YouTube content. I create all my reels, the short form content you see on YouTube Shorts, on TikTok, on Instagram. I vlog with that camera for my blog German Blondie. So if you head over to my Instagram, you will see all my little vlogs there. And I, in general, take pictures with that camera. When I was looking for a camera to create all my content, there are some aspects that a camera needs to have, and then there's something that a camera, it's nice if the camera would have this. So what I do, I create a list, and I put on the left side everything that the camera needs to have, and I'm not going to make any compromises. And then on the right side, it's nice to have, but the camera does not have this feature. It's not a make or break moment for me. And one thing that a camera definitely needs to have in order for me to create quality content is at least a 4K resolution. And you want to opt in for a camera that records in 4K. And if you ask yourself, why do I need a 4K resolution if I just want to upload TikTok videos? I mean, the screen is short and I don't know. I don't need a 4K. And let me tell you, the reason why a 4K resolution is the way to go is because, let's say you create a horizontal video, what I'm doing right now, creating a horizontal video, and I want to cut it into short form content. You would ultimately zoom into your video footage. You would expand the video footage in order to fit into a TikTok or a Instagram reel format. And keep in mind, YouTube videos are horizontal, so like this, whereas a TikTok or an Instagram is vertical. And in order to make a horizontal into vertical, you have to zoom in into your clip. Now, if you record a footage or if you record a video with a very low resolution and you blow it up, you zoom into the clip, everything will be pixelated. You will be left with an awful looking video clip. Now, if you have a 4K resolution, you can zoom into that clip. You can zoom and zoom and zoom, and it still looks great. So that's the reason why you need a 4K resolution. So the 4K resolution was definitely on my left side and needs to have a high resolution. Another aspect that I need in a camera is a screen that can be flipped. So when I film myself, I flip the screen so I can see what will be captured by the camera lens. And especially if you're filming yourself, if you do a lot of content creation on your own, a screen that can flip over will save you a lot of time. So on the other side, so the lens is right here, and on the other side, I can see the screen. I can see where I am in the frame. I can see what's in the frame and what not, and what looks good. And it just saves you so much time. Another aspect that is on the left side of my list, so things that a camera need: autofocus. A autofocus that is tracking your face. So whether I lean forward, I want to be sharp. Whether I lean back, I want to be sharp. And I want to be sharp all the time. And you can do this by an auto tracker assist, so a camera that tracks your face, whatever movement you do, so you stay sharp. And when I started filming myself, I have another camera, which is a DSLR camera. I mainly use it for photo creation, so still images, whether I photograph products, I go outside, nature, do nature photography, animals, where I really want to go into the nitty-gritty. I have changeable lenses, so I have a zooming lens for that. And I can get really close to, let's say, an animal or a plant that might be further away. And at the beginning I thought, oh, why not using this camera to film my videos? And the camera is fairly old and it created awful video quality. So autofocus is on the left side on things that your camera needs to have. Another aspect when selecting a camera on things that are, in my opinion, a camera needs to have is interchangeable lenses. So every camera, whether you buy a DSLR camera or a mirrorless camera or any camera, it comes with a body. So the body is just the shell, the case of the camera. And then you get the lens. And most of the time, especially nowadays in this technology, cameras do have an interchangeable lens. So meaning you can remove the existing kit lens, you can buy a zooming lens, you can buy a portrait lens, you can buy a wide angle lens, and whatever lens you need to achieve the results that you're looking for. So I would definitely opt in for a camera that lets you change those lenses. And even though you start and you might think, I don't want to change any lenses right now, it's expensive. Some of the lenses can be more expensive than the actual camera, than your starter kit. But it doesn't mean that you have to buy lenses right now, but it's always a nice option to have if, let's say, in a year, in 2 years from now, you want to invest in a zooming lens or you want to invest in a portrait lens, for instance. And the Sony ZV-E10 lets you change the lenses. So right now I'm using the kit lens, but you can also purchase other lenses. You can move the existing lens and lock in the lens that you want to use for whatever results you want to achieve. So that changing, the ability to change lenses is definitely on the left side. You do not want to be limited by only be able to utilize one lens. The next aspect for me, it's in between a nice to have and must have. It's not needed, but it's definitely nice to have, and that is a face filter. So the Sony ZV-E10 offers face filters, face blurring filters. And whether you're taking photos or you are filming yourself, it just enhances your features a little bit. It blurs imperfections, it blurs fine lines, and you just look really great on camera. Of course, you can achieve those results by having the perfect light as well, but I think if you take pictures or if you film other people without going back and having to touch up every single image or needing to find another filter, it's nice that the camera already has this included. But when choosing a camera for your content creation, comparing features and prices is important. The Sony ZV-E10 is just one of my favorite ways to create content, but if you do not really want this camera, here are some other aspects that you need to consider before purchasing a camera. Number one is the resolution. As I mentioned before, resolution is really important, especially if you want to zoom into clips. So look for cameras that offer at least a full HD, so 1080 pixels, but I always would go for a higher resolution for optimal video quality, and that is at least 4K. Another aspect to consider is the frame rate. So consider cameras that provide various frame rate options, allowing you to capture both standard and slow motion footage. I also mentioned lens compatibility. Check if the camera supports interchangeable lenses, allowing you to adapt to different shooting scenarios. So cameras always come with a lens kit, which at the beginning will give you enough room for content creation. In time, you might want to invest into a zooming lens or a macro lens or any other lens, depending on what you want to achieve with your content creation. For example, for my DSLR camera, I purchased a portrait lens, I purchased a zooming lens because we went to a safari trip in Africa a few years ago, and buying the zooming lens was one of the best investments I could have done because I was able to take some amazing photos of these beautiful animals. And when you talk about creating content, especially creating video content, people always overcomplicate the filming process and assume that much more is needed to film YouTube video or content for your social media. But that's not true. You can create awesome content while being on a budget. And I want to share a few things with you that you need to create awesome content while still being budget conscious. And the first tool that I personally cannot live without, and I believe any content creator shouldn't live without, and that is a tripod. You need a tripod because a stable shot is crucial for professional looking footage. So invest in a reliable tripod, and a tripod doesn't need to break the bank. You can go to Amazon and you find tripods. They cost around $30 to $40, $45 on Amazon. And I would choose a tripod that also lets you flip over the camera. As I mentioned before, I'm utilizing the Sony ZV-E10 to shoot all my video content. And what I like about the camera, you can shoot horizontally, but you can also shoot vertically. And my tripod lets me adjust my camera so I can shoot vertically or horizontal, so I can flip the camera. I don't use my cell phone anymore to create reels or reel content, short form content. I just use my tripod, set it up in a way that my camera is vertical so I can produce all that content and edit it on the computer. It's faster, it's easier, and I can ensure the video quality is always excellent. Of course, if you're saying, you know what, I don't want to buy a tripod, there is a budget alternative. If you're extremely tight on a budget, you can consider a do-it-yourself solution, like building a homemade tripod. You can use everyday objects like a small side table, books, boxes, and you can just stack that up. Next up, one tool that I recommend that you need to have are lights. In my opinion, lights are the second most important tool when creating content. And I opted in for umbrella lights and LED panel lights as filler lights. So the LED panels let me adjust the color so I can create a mood if I want that in my videos. And umbrella lights, you can get them, I believe you can probably get 2 lights for around $150. I bought these LED lights for around $150 per light, but these LED lights are super strong, but they also don't bother you when you look inside the camera. So I placed one on this side and one on this side, and they give you more light. You can light up darker backgrounds. You can also use those LED panels as filler lights. So if you put them a little bit lower to the floor and you just light up the background walls, you can have different colors. So let's say if I want my background to be blue, yellow, pink, whatever, I can adjust this in these LED lights. The budget alternative to not purchasing lights would be utilizing natural light from a window. So you can sit in front of a window, face the window, and let all the natural light come in. While this is a great idea, and I love shooting with natural light, so I have a big window on this side, there's a lot of natural light coming in, but I use it in combination with my other lights. And the reason why, because I cannot always guarantee that it's nice and sunny outside. Now, yes, I don't want to brag, but living in Southern California, I can tell you that the majority of time it will be sunny outside, but not everyone lives in SoCal. So let's not rely on the outside. Let's not rely that the sun shines every day, because there are days where it's cloudy and forecast. So I would say, while it's great and a budget alternative to only use natural light, I would still recommend you opt in for at least 2 LED panels. Because if you don't use proper lighting, your footage might be too dark, and post-editing this might take a lot of time and still doesn't look as great. The next tool is a microphone, and I want to say the microphone is even more important than your lights, because audio quality is everything. I can live with a grainy video, I'm okay with watching a little bit of a darker video, but if you have awful audio sound, as a consumer, it's really hard for me to watch your video. So invest in a microphone that produces high audio quality for your videos, podcasts, and any other video footage. And if you've done a little bit of research on microphone and audio sounds, you might come across the brand Rode. And Rode is one of my favorite brands for audio quality. They offer a wide range of microphones, whether it's shotgun microphones, microphones if you sing, or microphones if you do interviews or you're out and about. So there's definitely a microphone for everyone, but the brand is a little bit more expensive. I use the Rode NT1 for my clients that are more focused on singing and podcasting. And when I do record videos for my YouTube channel or interview people or I'm out and about, I use the Video Mic Pro, and that's a lavalier microphone that you can simply clip to your clothes. It's about $100, this microphone, and then I just got an extension cable that feeds right into my camera. What I like about this little microphone right here, It records really clear audio. It's attachable. You can take it anywhere. If I wanted to, I can also plug this microphone right into my cell phone. And if you're on a really tight budget and you don't have money to invest right now in a microphone, although I urge you to save up and get a microphone ASAP, you can use your smartphone. Any smartphone, any earbuds, they have a built-in microphone. So you can use that to record audio, and you can use your smartphone, your cell phone to create video footage. We talked about lights before, but I really want to dive deep into the aspect of lighting up your footage, because a well-lit footage comes across way more professional. And lighting plays a crucial role in filmmaking because it can set the mood, it can enhance visuals, and it can convey emotions to the audience. While artificial lighting setups are common, you can also use natural light as an alternative, and I mentioned that earlier. And in this section, I will explore the importance of lighting in filmmaking, providing some tips on using natural light. As I mentioned, I use natural light in combination with artificial light, and I will also want to offer advice on finding the best time of the day and location for shooting in natural light. When creating video footage, don't underestimate the power of light. And in order to really utilize the full potential of whether it's artificial light or natural light, you need to understand lighting in filmmaking. Properly set up light can transform a scene, it can evoke different emotion, and it can enhance your storytelling. Lighting sets the tone, highlights key elements, and guides the viewer's attention. Understanding the impact of lighting is essential for creating visually compelling and immersive films. Observe the direction, intensity, and quality of light and find ways to control it. Position the subject, so the subject could be you or other people you're shooting, in relation to the light source to create the desired effect and shadows. Natural light can vary its softness and hardness. You will find soft light during cloudy days or golden hour, and soft light provides a gentle, diffused quality. Whereas hard light is, for instance, direct sunlight, and it creates a strong shadows and contrast. So experiment with both types of light to achieve different visual aesthetics. Personally, I avoid hard light since it tends to create shadows and it doesn't really look as appealing as soft light. Soft light has a more diffused glow to your skin or the subject, and hard light can create very harsh shadows because the sun is really, I want to say it's up here, so it creates shadows, could create shadows under your eyes, which I don't really prefer. Use reflectors or white surfaces to bounce and soften natural light. Reflectors can also fill in shadows and create directional light, while diffusers can help reduce harshness and create a softer glow. So you can take those diffusers,